Hey everybody, I didn't get to do a Tuesday tip, so I'm running a little bit behind. Of course, today's Wednesday, and I just want to come out into the group and do a live video today, just to talk about a few things and give you some tips as best I can. So one of the things that, as I've talked to businesses, and I've ran into this several times with different businesses, is, who to target to. And of course, when you're doing any kind of paid advertising with Facebook, the key is going to be in your targeting as far as getting your cost low, or as low as you can get it. And when I've talked to people, even with some of the volunteer organizations that I've worked with, I've asked them, who is your target audience? Who are you marketing to? And they often tell me everybody. And I think, when you're a new business owner, especially, you do want to talk to everybody. And that's always really exciting. You want to talk to everybody. You want to, especially if you've got a product that is for everybody, you want to go out and share that, and you do want to market to everybody. However, that's not always the best thing to do, and you often are more successful if you can target down into your niche and discover, who is your ideal customer. So one of the things that recently I just told someone to check out was, to do a worksheet on, who is your ideal customer, to really kind of think through that, work through that. And, doing those types of tasks is often really time consuming, and it can be kind of hard to, sit down and focus on, who do you really want as an ideal client. But ultimately, when you work through that process, you end up being able to discover who you're wanting, who you want to attract as a client, and then you can actually run advertisements and target that particular customer or that particular client, and you're a lot more successful. You're a lot more successful with your ads, and then on top of that, you're able to get the customers that you want to get. So there's nothing like being able to get a client that you really want to work with, rather than the clients that, let's say, drive you crazy and you don't want to work with. And most of us all know somebody. We all know a person in which we don't want to pick up the phone when it rings. And there is a such thing as being able to fire your own client, and sometimes that is the best thing for both the client and yourself as a business owner. So you just kind of have to keep that in mind. But like I said, as a new business owner, I think often we want to be able to throw out into the vast sea of people because we've got something to offer and we want everyone to know about it. But it's like I used an analogy just recently in regards to fishing. So let's say that you want to catch a particular type of fish, say a bass fish, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, whatever. Do you think that if you were to go out on the lake and to throw a great big net in the water and just grab, whatever fishing pole or whatever, and just how many bass do you think that you might get? Where if you were targeting specifically those bass and you used a bait that was specifically for bass that, had been tried and true, that it would work to catch a fish, and then you use the right reel, the right line, the right rod, and you go strategically fishing in spots where you know that those particular type of fish would be. If you've got fisherman A throwing the net and fisherman B throwing the strategic bait, lure, pole, rod, and the particular line, who do you think is going to be more successful being able to catch or get the particular client or the particular customer that they're wanting? It's going to be someone who is more strategic and more specific. And apparently I just lost some connection, so I hope you heard that. But anyway, my live keeps getting disconnected. Sorry about that, folks. But as I was saying, basically, the person who's more specific about who they want is probably going to be more successful in attaining that goal. So that's my tip for you for today, is to make sure that you're working through, the process of finding out who your ideal client is, who your ideal customer is, and be able to start talking directly to them and being strategic and specific about it. I think you'll be a lot more successful and you'll be a lot more happier with the outcome results that you'll get. So that is your Tuesday tip, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off before I lose connection again. So happy Wednesday, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.